Hello, everyone. My name is Yaman Tashtvar, and I bring you daily updates on Tesla, tech, and the markets. Welcome to Tesla Live. Let's get started. Markets are down today. Dow Jones is down 0.4%, Nasdaq is down 1.4%, S&P 500 is down nearly 1%. Nvidia is highly traded today, the day after its earnings, down 4%. And you can see the other daily, highly traded stocks right here. Google is down 2%. I wonder what's going on there. Tesla is down 3%. Let's take a look at the heat map. Nvidia and other semiconductors are pulling Nasdaq and S&P 500 down quite a bit today. You can see the list here. Apple is down 1%. Tesla is down 3%. Highly overvalued company. It should be more about $200 billion. We're going to discuss the reasons later on. Consumer defenses are high. Costco announced earnings, very steady, increasing growth in the stock, up 4%. Some people say it's overpriced at, I think, 60 PE ratio, but it depends on how you're looking at it. Microsoft is down 0.5%, Meta is down 2%, Google is down 3%. Oil stocks are down about 1-2%. I think there's some rumors of OPEC increasing production again. Let's continue with the daily article. Oil prices fall on possible larger OPEC plus output hike for July. Oil prices fell on Friday and headed for a second consecutive weekly loss as investors weigh a potentially larger OPEC plus output hike for July and uncertain spreads around U.S. tariff policy after the latest courtroom twist. The Brent July futures contract is due to expire on Friday. Price moves dipped into negative territory after Reuters reported that OPEC Plus may discuss an increase in July output larger than the 411,000 barrels per day that the group had made for May and June. I skipped Trump's true social message on China failing to observe a truce on tariffs, also combined with the Reuters headline to push prices down. Let's go on to tariff talks a little bit, and now we're going to discuss some macro, followed by Tesla and EV news. U.S.-China talks a bit stalled and need Trump and Xi to weigh in, Treasury Secretary Bessent says. U.S.-China trade talks are a bit stalled, requiring the two countries' leaders to speak directly, Treasury Secretary Second Bessent told Fox News in an interview Thursday local time. I believe that we will be having more talks with them in the next few weeks, he said, adding that there may be a call between the two countries' leaders at some point. After a rapid escalation in the trade tensions last month, Bessent helped the world's two largest economies reach a breakthrough agreement in Switzerland on May 12. The countries agreed to roll back a recent tariff increases of more than 100% for 90 days, or until mid-August. Diplomatic officials from both sides had a call late last week. Still, the US has pushed ahead with tech restrictions on Beijing, drawing its ire, while China has yet to significantly ease restrictions on rare earths, contrary to Washington's expectations. This part right here is very important for vehicle production, especially EV motor production. So it relates to Tesla investors as well. I think that given the magnitude of the talks, 1 second. I think that given the magnitude of talks, given the complexity, and this is going to require both leaders to weigh in with each other, Bessent said. There had been a very good relationship, and I'm confident that the Chinese will come to the table when President Trump makes his preferences known. Trump and China's President Xi last spoke in January, just before the US president has sworn in for the second term. While Trump has in recent weeks said he would like to speak with Xi, analysts expect China to agree to that only if there is certainty that there will be no surprises from the US during the call. Interesting. China has maintained communication with the US since the agreement in Switzerland. Chinese Ministry of Commerce spokesperson He Yongquan told reporters at a regular briefing on Thursday. But regarding chip export controls, she said that China again urges the US to immediately correct its wrong practices and together safeguard the consensus reached at high-level talks in Geneva. That's according to a CNBC translation. When asked whether China would suspend rare earths export controls announced in early April, he did not respond directly. Interesting. Restrictions on items that could be used for both military and civilian use reflect international practice, as well as China's position of upholding world peace and regional stability, she said. I mean, this just kind of goes to these tariff talks are going to be very volatile for several months, if not several quarters. And Tesla is in the kind of center of all these discussions because of its exposure to rare earth metals. The US decision to revoke Chinese students' visa is fully unjustified, China's foreign ministry spokesperson said on Thursday, according to an official English transcript. It uses ideology and national security as pretext. All right, let's move on to some macro news. CEO confidence fell by 26 points in the second quarter of 2025 per conference board, largest quarter-over-quarter decline in the history of the survey, which started in 1976. And importantly, response window was from May 5 to May 19. So I believe this is after the worst of the tariffs were removed, or let's say delayed by 90 days. So the CEOs are showing low confidence, which is probably going to reflect into hiring practices. And that's why I expect unemployment rate to continue to increase in the second half of this year. Unless something there are major changes, but we'll see. Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas President Lori Logan signaled it may take a while before officials know how the economy will respond to tariffs and other policy changes, and thus how they should adjust interest rates. In prepared remarks for an event in Waco, Texas on Thursday, Logan outlined a variety of risks to the economic outlook. All right. Automotive industry. Toyota to sell 7 EV models in US, send surplus cars overseas. So this is a very major development, in my opinion. Toyota obviously has a very strong brand value across the world, also in the US, especially with female buyers due to its reliability. And as we know, Tesla has a very low female ownership. For many reasons. Toyota Motor is betting Americans are ready for more US made electric vehicles, and if they aren't, it has a plan exports. Production of 2 American made electric models is slated to begin next year, joining 3 new imported EVs Toyota aims to have in US showrooms in the coming months, and 2 currently available. By mid 2027, a total of 7 EVs will be showing up in US dealerships. So the competition is increasing when it comes to EVs. Toyota and Lexus are ready to flood America with new EVs. If there's surplus in production, the company believes exports could be the solution. Toyota may be riding high with its hybrid heavy lineup and ambitious plans to have 20% of EV sales come from plug-in hybrids by 2030, but the company isn't stopping there. It always has big plans. It also has big plans to expand EV offerings in the US. By mid-2027, Toyota and Lexus will introduce no fewer than 7 new EVs across North America, including a range of models that could give it an edge against the competition. So I think this is a very, very material news for Tesla investors, whether you're on the long side or the short side. Toyota and Lexus will introduce no fewer than 7 new EVs across North America. Unlike, Elon Musk's proclamations, when other companies say what they're going to do, they usually follow up with execution. First, Toyota is adding a few more electric options to its own lineup. Expect a facelifted BZ4X crossover, now named BZ, the BZ Woodland, and the CHR, and an upcoming 3-row SUV. So this is a critical piece right here. Upcoming 3-row SUV. On the Lexus side, the RZ crossover will be joined by an electric version of the new generation ES sedan introduced last month and a larger SUV to boot. US-made electric SUVs are coming. While many of the models will be imported, the big news is that the upcoming 3-row SUVs, one from Toyota and one from Lexus, will be manufactured right here in the US. After a brief delay, production will start in 2026 at 2 factories in Georgetown, Kentucky and Princeton, Indiana. These new electric SUVs will go head-to-head with the likes of Kia EV9 and Hyundai Ioniq 9, which are also targeting the growing demand for larger electric vehicles. So I would expect this to also reduce demand for Model X as well. Toyota isn't diving into the EV market without a plan. According to Bloomberg, the company typically adds a new model to a factory only when it's confident it can move 100,000 to 150,000 units annually. While US EV adoption is expected to grow at a slower rate than anticipated, Toyota has a strategy to keep production moving. Any excess will be exported. This is a critical figure right here. This comes to about 3,000 a week units. And the reason why that's important is because otherwise you don't get to gross margin positive. And we've seen this, or operating margin positive. We've seen this from Rivian and also for Cybertruck. We're seeing how the Cybertruck program is failing at a very low volume. Long-term commitments will sell a bit more every year and grow the market. On the production side, Toyota is setting up a lithium-ion battery plant in North Carolina, which will power its US-made EVs and hybrids. Once fully operational, the plant will have a production capacity of over 30 gigawatt hours, enough to power 800,000 hybrids, 150,000 plug-in hybrids, and 300,000 battery electric vehicles annually. Yeah, so this is very significant competition in the next 12 to 24 months for Tesla. Let's move on. Ford head GOP tax bill provision could imperil battery factory. This is a Reuters article published yesterday. Ford executive chair Bill Ford on Thursday sounded the alarm over the potential for the US government to eliminate production tax credits that support manufacturing of EV batteries using Chinese technology. The disappearance of credits would threaten Ford's projected $3 billion investment in Marshall, Michigan, plant that is 60% complete as slated to employ 1,700 workers. If it doesn't stay, it will imperil what we do in Marshall, etc. And on Tesla, Tesla makes about $1 billion a year, if I remember correctly, from their 10Q, 10K filings on production credits alone. And on top of that, Tesla obviously makes money on selling ZEV credits, billions of dollars we're talking, which is also apparently in the chopping block too. So, between production credits, battery production credits, ZEV credits by states, and the $7,500 EV tax credit and the $4,000 used EV tax credit Tesla has benefited about tens of billions of dollars over the last 5 years, 10 years or so from these credits. So pretty much its entire profitability depends on US government financing its production and sales. On battery leadership and breakthroughs, CATL achieves breakthrough in lithium metal battery research published in Nature Nanotechnology. And so, unlike most of the EV battery startup announcements, CATL is obviously the world's biggest battery producer. So, when they speak, I take it seriously. CATL CEO also called out Elon for his absurd claims around 4680 batteries and said it would never work. And so far, he's been right. CATL has announced a breakthrough in lithium metal battery technology through quantitative mapping, venturing into previously uncharted territory in electrolyte strategy. This pioneering research, published in Nature Nanotechnology, enables LMBs with both high energy density and extended cycle life, solving a long-standing challenge in the field. The optimized prototypes has reached a cycle life of 483 cycles and can be incorporated into state-of-the-art designs to achieve an energy density of over 500 watt-hours per kilogram, marking a significant step toward commercial viability for applications like EVs and electric aviation. So, to the extent that CATL is the driver of this innovation, not Tesla, Tesla will have to get in line like every other automaker and pay CATL a profit margin to procure these batteries. So CATL is where the innovation is happening, not Tesla. LMBs are widely regarded as next generation battery system thanks to their intrinsically high energy density, especially for high-end power applications such as long-range EVs and electric aviation. However, these batteries have long faced a trade-off between energy density and cycle life. Previous research has focused on enhancing cell performance by optimizing salvation technology structures and solar electrolyte interfaces. I'll scroll through. You can read it if you want later on, or just go search for the article CATL issues breakthrough on lithium. This is on CATL's website. China's BYD and Great Motor clash over China's oil price war. Tensions between two China's largest automakers erupted into the open on Friday when BYD executives slammed an alarmist comments by the chief of Great Wall Motor that called the industry unhealthy. Shares in Chinese automakers such as BYD, NIO, XPeng tumbled this week after the chairman of Great Wall Motor worried openly about China's deepening price war, with pricing pressure hammering the bottom lines of car companies and suppliers. And as far as I know, Tesla China doesn't make any money, even before these massive price cuts by BYD that happened, I think, last week. So going forward, I would expect Tesla's production and sales in China to further decline and capacity utilization at Tesla's Shanghai factory to decline from here on out. And last, this data comes from the Tesla Community FSD Tracker. As far as I know, this is the best um, source of data when it comes to FSD because of its nature of data collection. It's not perfect, but it's way better than any other claim that I see online about FSD from biased influencers. And you can see not much has changed. In the last 4.5 months, since Elon Musk tweeted about the exponential improvement of Tesla FSD version 3.13, since then, every single metric on the community trigger has gotten worse. On that note, we're going to end today's. Enjoy your weekends, and I'll chat with you all next time. Take care.